It's amazing. Should I curtsy, Adil Ray?
I think you should.
I'm in the presence of royalty.
Exactly, you should.
What an incredible, incredible programme this is, and you found out so much. It must be fascinating to do that and to find out all of these different things.
Yeah, I feel very lucky. I kind of wish, as I was doing it, I think everybody needs to go on this journey.
Yeah.
I just feel so lucky that I've been able to do it and film it because, you know, especially in sort of today's world where we look at people's social media accounts and we make a judgment of who they are. My mum had told me that yes, of course, you know, she had African family and she was an orphan, and that didn't turn out to be entirely true. But I had no idea that we were related to the Kabaka, which is
royalty. But your grand's a fascinating lady. I mean, she was what, 13 when she got married?
Yeah, I mean, it was terribly sad and difficult for her. Her father was actually Indian, a chap called Moin Dean, and he married her mother, who was Ugandan Black African, Razia. Now, her father passes away. And she was taken away. This is what my family have now told me in Uganda, my African family, that she was taken away from her mother by the Asian community at the time, who didn't want her to be brought up within the black community, which is terribly sad. Yeah. So she was taken away, you know, aged maybe very, very young, maybe 9, 10 or something, and was actually adopted by an Asian family. She then met my grandfather, who his first wife had died, and he'd had 7 children.
Wow! So she inherited 7 children. So she
became the mother
at 13 years
of
old.
7 children when she was 13.
Jeez.
I mean, it's so sad. And then has 7 children of her own.
Oh, for goodness sake!
Exactly.
That's amazing.
So I mean, you know. The thing is that in those times, a lot of girls were married very young. I mean, that happened in Western society, not just in Africa. And from my grandfather's point of view, you know, he needed a wife, needed someone to come look after his children. It would be very difficult to him to attract an Indian woman to come over to Africa and become the mother of 7 children. Right. But my grandmother, she did face a lot of prejudice, you know, being a black woman within that Asian community, you know, because there was a hierarchy in Kenya. You know, the whites were the very superior, then the Asians were somewhere in the middle, and the blacks, even in their own country, were left. You know, so a lot of the white community wouldn't even deal with the black community. The Asian community were almost like the conduits between the two. They became traders. Yeah. So my grandmother faced a lot of prejudice. I mean, she had African hair, and she tried to straighten her hair.
Oh, that's so sad.
Any of her children that had African hair, she spent days straightening their hair.
Right.
And,
so that they would kind of fit in or be accepted?
Exactly. You know, but she carried herself with such dignity. And one of my first childhood memories, 1983, when she passed away in Birmingham. At that time, she'd moved over in Birmingham. And I've never seen so many people at her funeral. You know, I've never, to this day, I've never seen so many people. She was absolutely loved by the entire community. An amazing, amazing woman.
God, what I mean, taken away from that, it must be really emotional, though.
Yeah,
I would imagine it's so emotional to find these people, especially if they've died and you've got so many questions and so many things unanswered. I mean, you get a lot of answers, don't you? You do get that, but at the same time, there's other things that you want to find out. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And also, finding family you didn't know existed.
Of course.
So I go and meet Sarah and Udiah, who are my belated grandmother's cousins. You know, they live in very, very basic housing in a village, like not far from Kampala in Uganda. And I go to see them, and it's like, you're my family. I didn't even know you
Didn't even know that
existed.
you were here.
And they're absolutely beautiful people. And it's just fantastic. So we're talking to the BBC about a possible entertainment format for Mr. Khan, which I think is quite interesting.
Oh, Mr. Khan could be... Well, he couldn't really host Newsnight. Although, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
But he could do a game show.
He could do a game show. I love the fact that he's a
Price is Right. Exactly. It would be very good.
Exactly. He wasn't very good at that. But I love the fact that he's a community leader. So maybe there could be something where he helps people with their problems. You know, some sort of entertainment format. We're talking at the moment. We'll see.
He's a kind man. He's a ridiculous man.
He's a lovely man.
He's a kind man.
Yeah,
under it all.
He loves you. You know.
I know.
Yeah. You need to get him on here.
I would love to. You can put a word in, can't you?
I'll have a word with him. This is getting really weird.
So good to see you.
Thank
so
you.
good to see you. And obviously, as we said tonight, BBC One 9 o'clock. Who do you think you are? Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. I loved it. Thank you.
Thanks very much.